of Tank Blitzers and hopefully a few future mumrads. Hey, I'm Littlefinger, today doing a review on the American Tier 5 medium tank, the M7. You can see it here in the garage. It is a sleek looking tank. We're moving up to Tier 5 now. This will be my first Tier 5 review. And we are about to get started on the T-49 missile exercise. Guided missiles in World of Tank Blitz. Should be a lot of fun. But anyway, let's take a look at this tank and the tech tree. Obviously, it's an American tank. You're going to start here, M2 Light, M3, M5, and then we move on into the M7. Goes into some light tanks there at the T-21 and T-71, and then to the T-69. Haven't quite made it to the T-54E1 yet, but this has been a pretty fun set of tanks to drive, especially the T-71, T-69 auto loaders. Can be fun too. So let's take a look at this tank. It'll come with a Tier 3 gun, which of course you'll want to upgrade as fast as you can. So right now I am running the 75mm gun. Let's just run down some of these stats here. The reason I like this tank so much is the maneuverability. This tank really gets around well, and you can use its speed to get guys missing and kind of just outplay them in the tank. So hit point 680. Frontal hull armor at 38, frontal turret armor at 51, which is actually pretty good. The hull armor is not great, but turret armor is pretty good for the tier, so you can get down into some hole down spots and play it that way with a little peek and boom. Maneuverability here, you can see we're coming at 24 tons with a engine horsepower of 506. We've got a nice top speed there at 60 and some great traverse numbers. So like I'm saying, this is a super maneuverable tank. Get yourself in and out of danger pretty quickly with it. So rate of fire 9 rounds per second. It does have a slight long reload time there, but you're getting 106 pen on this, which pretty much handles most Tier 5 and a lot of Tier 6. Only need a little bit of APCR there, the upper tiers. You're doing 160 damage per shot. So as far as setup, I do run it with camouflage. I have the free camouflage here from participating in Clan Wars, which I typically run, but just for the purposes of this video, I decided to go with this cool green. Consumables, running a repair kit, a multi-purpose restoration pack, and adrenaline. Provisions, running improved fuel, protective kit, and case of cola. And if you guys can see from my garage, I'm not too worried about credits. If you're worried about credits, I would run it just with a protective kit. Ammunition, about 18 rounds of APCR, and don't forget you can change that to credits here. It probably wasn't until I reached Tier 5 that I realized that you could do that, and I had been spending, well, I actually hadn't used any gold to buy Pramo. I've never shot Pramo up until that point. So anyway, learn from my mistake. Alright guys, so I have pulled up blitzstars.com using their tank compare section, and I've got the Tier 5 medium tanks lined up here. Selected a group of 5 tanks that all are running a 76mm gun for a more accurate comparison of guns, and also selected tanks with some decent mobility like the M7. So you can see here at damage per minute at 1452, we are top of class. Always a good stat to be top of class in. Penetration, we are bottom of class, but not too far behind, say, the Anko and the PZ-34 there. So I didn't see too much of a problem with penetration in game, but just make sure you're carrying a couple APCR rounds for sure. So all these tanks do 160 damage. Rate of fire is top of class, which is why we have the highest DPM at 9.08 rounds per minute, with only a 6.6 second reload time. Shell velocity, This shows that it is the slowest by a considerable amount, but never really had an issue with that. Obviously, that can show up when you're shooting at distances, at moving targets. So we've got a great aim time. Dispersion's a little bit high, but I think the gun is very good. You've got 8 degrees of depression, which is kind of middle of the pack there. It's obviously not as good as, say, the M4 Sherman or the Chinu, but you certainly have better armor than the Chinu anyway. So at speed, coming in here at 60 kilometers per hour is the best in class. And that's what I'm talking about. This mobility, power to weight ratio of 21.09. It does really feel like it moves well in game. And you can see here, hull armor at 38 millimeters is certainly the worst of all of these tanks, but your turret armor there at 51 beats out the PZ-34 Chinu and Anko just by a hair. But you know, when you've got tanks at this tier that have penetration values of 100, your 50 millimeters of turret armor is not going to stop too much. So you want to play this tank to avoid getting hit, save hit points, and use those hit points at the end of the game. So you can see here, win rate in this tank is actually pretty low, and I'm surprised about that. 54.6 win rate. I played 90 games in it, and I'm at 70% with an average damage of just over 1,000. So I guess some people just don't know how to play it that well, and I'm assuming that's probably because you know, they're trading shots and they're dying early. So first game I'm going to show, I just played a few minutes ago on Canal. Wanted to get a game in with the new update. Kind of liking how they're showing the direction of the shots you either take or block, and the amount of damage that you either take or block. Kind of interesting. So anyway, looks like the team is going to go right, and this is regular speed. You can see the tank does pretty good getting up a very steep hill here. So they've all pushed forward into the middle here. We're kind of at the back, so we're not being spotted. And you can see we hit that one right in the gun. It was a little bit off where we were aiming, but we didn't do any damage on that shot. So get a shot into the toaster, and he thinks he's hiding behind that building, but anyway, he does not survive much longer. And that might have been a I didn't get that kill just because my shot got there last because of the slow shell velocity. But anyway, missed that shot over the top of the Chaffee. We've got him lined up, but I'm sticking out, so I'm going to turn around so that I'm only showing the front portion of my tank, and I can back down the hill real easily to get out of the way. So he's dropped off, so we're going to start shooting the Stuart here. And they're all focusing on the tanks to my left. We'll get another shot into him there. And I can see just by where they're located that they've started pushing around the buildings here. So I'm going to use my speed to relocate and sneak in behind these guys and see if we can't do some significant damage. We've got to be careful that they don't all turn on me at one time. But obviously they've taken some hit points. I have not. There's the Lux. We get a shot into the back of him. I'm going to drop adrenaline because I know the T-34 was backing out, and we want to get these reloads as fast as possible and do as much damage there as we can. So we get 2 kills, a couple lucky bounces, and the Stuart gets taken out before I can get around to him again. So anyway, now we're just going to trade shots a little bit here with the Chaffee. Missed that shot. It was a little bit unfortunate, or else I would have had an easy kill on him, just trading hit points. But I'm just going to try to get him to move that turret as much as possible. I think he's got me lined up. I'm going to back up and try to make him miss. He gets the ammo rack there, so I'm quick to repair it, and I get one more shot into him before he disappears. And make some distance between me and him while I'm reloading, and manage to load in time to get kill number 3. So you can see how well this tank moves on the battlefield. You got to use that to your advantage. So 1476 here is top tier. 3 kills, is a level 1 mastery badge in it. And you can see we certainly inflicted some damage on a lot of tanks there. Falls Creek, bottom tier. So let's see what this tank can do against a Churchill and a KV-1. Platooned up here with Crumpets and Tea, aka Tom, who tells me he has a 66 step nose. I had to look that up. I had no idea what it was. But it's a pretty cool looking car, that's for sure. And I'm beginning to think that money grows on trees out there in California. So, waiting for this team to decide which way we're going to go. Tom calls left, which is fine by me. I'm going to try to stay out wide here. Take out a few power poles while we're at it. And you can see how fast I can pull away from the team. So keep that in mind when you're driving this. Always keep an eye on your mini-map, and don't get yourself too far out in front of everyone else where you don't have support. So we just found a nice spot here, hidden behind bushes and the rocks, so we can get into safety. Again, keep that in mind, guys, that want to make sure that you always have a safe exit strategy. Don't drive in the middle of the map. Don't pull up on the top of hills like that T-67. Rest of the team's pushing left, but I figure they're going to be coming around from the bridge here, so missed that shot on a moving T-67. It's a fast tank. He's going to get behind those rocks. Found a little bit of safety for himself. But he's the only one spotted right now, so we're not worried too much about anyone else. And they are all going to chase in. We'll get a shot when he peeks around. I get spotted, so I'm going to relocate. I think it was from the T-67. I don't think it was from anyone else, so not too worried about it. I'm going to rock back and forth just in case. And then we're going to pull up to this next ridge here. Go ahead and track the Stug there, and we've got the KV-1. That's quite lucky there for that penetration shot. This game really goes my way. Even this shot here into the Churchill. Get spotted. Let's make sure we get behind this hill. Take a look over here to my left, and Tom looks like he could be in a 2-in-1 situation, so want to get over there and help him out. Missed that shot on the M4. It's kind of disappointing. We should have had that one. But he's now backing up. And I take a shot. Want to go ahead and get this M4. Unfortunately, I waste a shot there and get shot by the VK, who kills my driver. We'll use the big repair kit to fix that. And then you can see the speed here of just circling this tank, and I'll stop right when I think he's about to shoot, and luckily we light him on fire and finish him off. So we got a tank advantage at the moment. We know that KV is sitting up on that hill probably still. There he is. Gonna have to switch over to APCR here. Get a nice shot in there. So now we just have to watch out for this KV-1. So I'm going to keep the APCR loaded just in case. Churchill's there, so we'll go ahead and shoot through that building and get into the rear of the Churchill here. switch it over to AP just because we got the backside of it. I've thought about shooting HE just for 1 hit point, but team finishes him off. Now it's just the KV left. So this is where the rolls start going a little bit not in my favor. So you can see the nice gun depression here, shooting right into the side, and we bounce that shot. I've got APCR loaded, shoot one into the top front plate there, and that bounces. So we'll go to the bottom plate, we'll get that one in. But he's going to get a shot into me right here. But this is where the maneuverability of this tank shines. You can see here. We'll just go ahead and do a little circle of death on him and get one into the side there. So one-on-one, this tank can certainly outmaneuver any heavy. And you can see here 1944 damage, mastery badge, 2 kills. We did bounce 2 shots there, but you can see this tank, the maneuverability gets you into good fighting positions quite frequently. Alright guys, so here we are on Mayan Ruins as bottom tier. And I've talked about this before. One way to really help your team and also the experience you get in battle is to spot. So you can see here I'm coming up straight into the middle of the map hoping to spot some opponents. And sure enough, here they come right around the heavy line. I get 1 shot in there but track him. And then I get spotted and you can see he's turning at me. I could have stayed there and let the reload and take a shot, but I would have just been trading shots. So not something you want to be doing in this tank early in the game. He's angled nicely. Bounce that off the front lower plate there. So I can see that they're pushing around this side. So I'm going to go ahead and move to the left here and get some shots in on them. Making sure I get this shot in. You can see having a little trouble there with the depression. Get that shot in. And then back around to safety. So we got this VK over here. Looks like he might be a little bit distracted. Take a shot right in the track there, but don't do any damage. That was a very low probability of doing anything. So as he's coming this way, I'm going to use my mobility to move on out of there. I'd rather go help my teammate than to be one-on-one against another tank at this point in the game here. So our guys have done well on the heavy side. I'm going to come in here and steal that last kill. And you can see here I'm just pushing as far to safety as I can on the reload. KV1's down there. There's only 2 tanks left. We've got a serious advantage, so going to take that shot on the run and bounce. He'll get one into me. And we get a lucky shot in there. And this is what you do to heavy tanks when you're in a mobile tank like the M7. Come up behind him, get a shot in, and we have completely circled him, and he can't get that turret round. We'll get a shot into the front. At this point, you know, he's pretty much a goner. He's going to go ahead and take a shot in front of him, and we'll just sit here behind him and go ahead and finish him off for kill number 3. So it wasn't a high damage game, but I did really well as far as experience points because of getting the scout medal. So I detected the most amount of tanks. 1127 damage, 3 kills, but 725 experience points is pretty good for bottom tier. And you can see all of these tanks here that I spotted, including the KV1 there. Alright, so this game is Dead Rail, bottom tier again. Got some heavies to our left. And I'm going to make the decision to go right. So we got half of our team going right, half the team going left. Get up this hill, behind this rock. Get a shot into the Leo. And he's now right behind that rock, so we're going to push up and finish him off. So now we got the Anko and the VK over there. Want to peek up over this ridge and just see if there's anybody else on this side. There's looks to be 3 on the other side of the map, so got a nice line right here. So I'm going to push around the side, rush that shot. Anko's on the run, so we'll get one into the back of him. And he gets behind the train here. Got a small window to try to shoot and missed that shot. But the reason I showed you this game is because now we've started on the right side of the map, and now the rest of the team is on the left side. And you can see how quickly we can get back into the fight from the complete other side of the map. So only 8 hit points left on the SU. We'll go ahead and ram kill him. VK gets us there. Gets a little laggy. Then we get the VK. Now I'm trying to just stay behind him. I don't want him turning and facing that slanted armor at me, if at all possible. He's trying to drive away. Goes over the hill. It's never a good thing. Tier 6 Anko. We're gonna have to switch to APCR, and this is, you know, circle of death. If he starts going the other way, just back up. Had help there, so they took out the Kuro. And it was a fast game, good team. But I just wanted to show you that as an example of the maneuverability of this tank to get around the map. We ended up doing 1,482 damage. Just seemed fairly easy, to be honest. 2 kills. That's kind of the reason I really enjoy this tank. So here's the last game, Castella. I am platoon with Captain RevKev, calling everyone to go to the right, and I'm going to use my speed and push hard. I have good support behind me. In retrospect, I probably should have gone in between to the left of the bridge here and up, because you can see here they all pop up. So I want to back up, but I'm blocked by my platoon mate there. You can see how bouncy the aim is going over the bridge. But luckily, the guy beside me continued forward, and they all focused on him, and you can see now he is dead over there. So part of the reason I wanted to show you this game is because of this kind of hold down position here. I'll get into in a minute. Right now I'm just kind of sticking out from the back side, but I'll go ahead and turn here in a minute. Getting a little push there by teammate, but so all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get hold down here. You can see how that shot bounces there. So really only my turret is sticking over the side. So I'm giving them a very small target. I'm also moving side to side, which makes it harder to hit. And then when I do get my shot in and I'm in the reload, we back up, and I'm completely invisible to them. So we're able to finish those 2 off. We're up a tank right now, and my platoon mate gets hit from behind. He's bumping into me. Probably should have stayed with him, but I'm gonna go ahead and ram kill the Lux, and then focus my attention here on the A20. Unfortunately, my path is blocked. Can't quite get through there, but he shows me enough of his rear to get shot. And you see how I angle back and he shoots the side of the tank and they all bounce. So you can get some good bounces in it if you angle it properly. We'll go ahead and finish him off. Again, the mobility on this tank is real nice. Although we're not going to make it to the T-34 before he gets finished. So we've got a Leo down there and a Leo on the hill. These Leos can pack a punch if you end up taking a full clip from them, about over 200 damage. You see there? That's what happens. But we're able to use our gun depression here and finish off that Leo. And then I just want to get up the hill before the other guy reloads. Looks like he's now going to make a run for it, so I'm going to try to push forward here. And I'm going to snapshot it. Oh, we just tracked him. Oh, that's painful. Alright, try for the impossible shot here between the buildings. Oh, that ain't going to work. But thankfully he makes a mistake and tries to go down into the river through that opening. So we ended up with 4 kills. Kind of a fun game. A lot of moving. Very mobile tank. It's part of the reason I think I like it so much. He even got a steel wall there. That's kind of funny. So I hope you guys learned something with this video on the M7. It's super fun to drive. Just don't get yourself caught out in the open. Make sure you always have an exit strategy. So have fun out there, guys. Just a game. Get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.